So maybe to call a spade, so to move on to something else, what would you say is the issue that is rocking the ODM party, other than the fact that, do you agree that there's a bit of an issue with the leadership in terms of them ignoring the rest?
ODM is also in an unfortunate situation right now. It does not have state power at the national level. It's not fully, all the quad counties do not utilize effectively the devolved state functions at county level. They are all just running rings of corruption and a lack of accountability, and we turn a blind eye to it. They're mismanaging these counties left, right, and center. So there's really no narrative in terms of good government, even within our own ilk. But then, that said and done, ODM has the misfortune. The last 2 times it was an incumbency. You know, so this time, unfortunately, because coming out of the referendum of 2005, Raila had momentum into the presidency in 2007. Coming into 2013, they had the advantage of incumbency because of the shared arrangement of the Grand National Coalition. This time around, they don't have the advantage of state. All of us don't, including Kalonzo Musyoka. So we need to use tactics that are more persuasive, more accommodative. Because you see, when you have state resources or state function, state capacity, today I could just announce you into a board, you know, and sort out some of your issues. I could put you into a chairman of an institution and sort out some of the issues. And so state largesse is a very lucrative thing. People tend to gravitate towards power. Okay. So and therefore you need to also now manage people in terms of their heart and their feeling. So
there's a need for change of strategy. Of how they approach.
There has been need for a change of strategy for a long time,
which they haven't done.
Yes, yes, quite right. And just as a revert to what Weda had said here, when we talk of being bought, it's not necessarily in terms of monetary, just exactly what Hassan has said. Buying the political support through dangling the carrot. You know, when you are an incumbent, you're in government, you control all those appointments to state parastatals, to agencies. It is a very powerful negotiating tool. And just as it has been said, ODM is in a position whereby it is not in power, it is in the opposition. And the Jubilee Alliance has made it very clear that it will do all the stops to make sure that it penetrates those regions. Talk of coasts, talk of Western, talk of Ukambani. They are going full throttle, 2017 general election. So much as it may be said, the issue of buying political support through influence and through appointments is something that has to be in the matrix.
Okay. Let me ask a simple question.
Summarizing.
If you have 2 candidates, one is walking around with a black fly whisk like this. So you put Raila with a black fly whisk, just behind him, Mudama Asabakora. Those are the luminaries. Then on this side, you had President Uhuru Kenyatta and William Samoei Ruto. You can see a contrast against a population of people who were born in the 90s. Yesterday, in my house, there was a post where Honorable Raila Odinga had gone to Muhoroni. And he was telling the people of Muhoroni how his mother died when he was in prison. Okay? And we were looking at that, and my daughter asked me, why was he in prison? Why was his brother not in prison? What we are technically saying, is the people you want to communicate to do not remember somebody was in detention, somebody was in prison. If you tell them you're in prison, they think you had done something wrong. So there is, as we say, there's a need of change of tactic. Put the Bakora down, put the fly whisk down,
which is what
reduce dictatorship, reduce dictatorship, and then you will have a coalition.
I have to respond to that point. We cannot have a country also without a soul. This country, this nation must document its history, and it must present it accurately, because history helps you to project your future. You need to know where you're coming from to project fairly where you want to go. What were the struggles based on? That's why we have undermined the spirit of the Mau Mau. That's why sons and daughters of these peasant revolutionaries are today continuing to languish in poverty, when the sons of senior chiefs and collaborators and home guards are wielders of power and capital in this nation. So we lost the soul of the nation. So if you go to the United States, they constantly remind the country of George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, the great civil rights president, Abraham Lincoln, and everybody. So I think Jeff Kennedy. So you cannot pretend that we cannot remember a history that is just 20 years old, when others are documenting history that is 200 years old. So I think we cannot create a country of young, ignorant people and claim that they do not have a clue about what the contributions or the sacrifices of Raila Odinga or anybody else is to this country. But repositioning in terms of the conversation so that they are able to relate with it is a different political strategy.
Okay.
But they have to appreciate it.
Okay, I want us to